But welcome everybody. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button.
I remember in middle school when you felt self-conscious if you were the last one to go through puberty. That really went topsy-turvy, didn't it?
Sometimes the house it's too much explaining yourself and it's too apologetic.
Be sure to hit the notifications bell.
I actually do believe Israel won't just bomb countless civilians.
Be sure to tweet this out. Be sure to put this up on your Facebook.
You have to be kind to people. Being kind is the guys in this mess in the first place.
Put this up on your Reddit.
Chile is a country.
Be sure to cut and paste, a link to this to go into your favorite Facebook chat group.
It's good to see so many normal people in here.
Now, banking isn't just my deep, dark personal secret. It's America's deep, dark secret.
I've never seen...
Guy walks into a therapist's office. He says, "Doc, you gotta help me out. I'm fucking losing it here." Therapist says, "So what seems to be the problem?" Guy says, I everywhere I go, everybody's just telling me to fuck off. They're throwing their shit at me, throwing the lunches at me, they're spitting in my direction, they're just telling me to get the fuck out of their town. I get no fucking respect. I don't know what's going on. I need help. I'm losing it. I'm losing the will to live here, Doc. You gotta help me out. Therapist sighs and says, "You know, this is good timing. I think I know what'll help you right out. Why don't you go and turn on Fox News and spend a little while listening to the great Greg Bovino. That'll inspire you. That'll bring back your will to live." Guy says, Doc, I am the great Greg Bovino." Hello and welcome to the Untitled Anarchist Seagull channel. I'm your host, an Untitled Anarchist Seagull called Elise, and it is about to get way too bright in here. Jesus. Okay, give me a second. I had to adjust that to take into account the complete lack of light. So the ISO is at like 4800. Yeah, okay. Turn that down a bit. Okay, yes, now I don't look like I'm literally in a sunspot. Yeah, so earlier on the hyperpolyglotting stream, giving a bit of a special occasion, we were watching the status coup live feed of the general strike and the protests in Minneapolis, and that was impressive. I mean, out of 420,000 people living there, roughly, something like possibly 25% of the city's population joined in. I've heard a low estimate of 50,000, but that's unsourced. I'm guessing that might be Minneapolis PD, because when you hear a low estimate, it tends to be the cops, or like cop-adjacent sources. But yeah, and you know, I decided, because, I mean, what else was I going to do? I went to see what Caleb Maupin had to say about this, and there was a video called "We Are Not Getting Into..." I gotta do the voice. "We are not getting into ICE drama. We are anti-revisionists." And you know that we would be watching the shit out of that thing. Except that it isn't up yet, unfortunately. Maybe, when is that supposed to be? Is that tomorrow? Maybe that'll be up. Yeah, that's for tomorrow. Okay, perfect. Well, that'll be something to look forward to. How's everybody doing, chat? On the other hand, our good friend Pim Tool has a video called "ICE Agents Kicked Out of Speedway Gas Station. Calls for Boycott Erupt," and which is interesting. I mean, like, they want to boycott the Speedway? Do they think that everybody who showed up to kick those assholes out worked for Speedway? I mean, and honestly, go big or go home, right? I mean, if ICE want to really show that they're sick of this shit, what they really ought to do, what they really ought to do is go on strike. Just walk out. Go home. Don't knock down any more people's doors. Don't shoot any more people. Just fucking go home. Go on strike indefinitely. And just wait until the people beg for them to come back. Because I'm sure that'll happen in a few million years. Maybe not in their lifetime. Just go on strike. That'll show us. But, I mean, I gotta hear about the calls for the Speedway boycott because they told Greg Bovino to fuck off. That'll be fun. Okay, so I think that's where we're going first.
Let's jump to this story where things are getting a little spicy. We've got this from Newsweek. Speedway faces boycott call after
boycott calls from who?
Agents kicked out of gas station. Social media users are alleging that border.
A Twitter user. A Twitter user wants to boycott. They aren't even calling for a boycott. It says, "I smell a boycott incoming." And somebody called Cam Higby, that name vaguely rings a bell, didn't call for a boycott. Oh no, they asked the commander if this is illegal, and no it isn't. They can refuse to serve fucking goons. Fuck them. I smell a boycott incoming. So a Twitter user said that, and that's a story on Newsweek. A Twitter user said they smell a boycott. I'm sure that'll go very well.
Patrol Commander Greg Bovino and other federal agents were denied service at a speedway in Minnesota. Self-described journalist. Self-described? Come on, Newsweek.
I love that. Self-described. Who the hell is... God, that name rings a bell. Hey there. Hey, River Rude. Cam Higby. Who the hell is that? I feel like I've heard that name. Oh, self-described journalist. He's the... Oh, okay. He's just a far-right ghoul who is apparently now the press secretary? Not the... Oh, no. No, wait a second. Oh, Cam Higby is one of these... Oh, yes, a very self-described journalist. But, okay, so calls for a boycott, and it's one person on Twitter. Not even a user that has any kind of a name that anyone would recognize either.
Cam Higby wrote an X on Wednesday. Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino denied service. I do believe we actually have the video here. And,
laugh reacts only.
I think this is the Speedway video. Yeah, it looks like it. And they actually threw food at him.
And it looked like some confetti, too. I mean... They're wondering if it's illegal to not serve somebody for being a member of a fascist paramilitary goon squad. I mean, these same people, let's remember, got really, really excited about the idea that somebody might try to ban Baker from discriminating against gay people on the making of wedding cakes. But, I mean, they're suddenly big champions of the fucking Civil Rights Act when Greg Bovino is denied service.
So,
see, this is why Tim Pool lives in a compound out in fucking West Virginia.
I'm not sure anybody should get charged for throwing Doritos at a guy, but I do think...
Oh, wow, that's big of you, Tim.
...that Speedway should issue a statement saying, we do not want to have anything to do with this.
Yeah. Well, like, why would they do that? See, I mean, if anything is going to be associated with some kind of a boycott, it would be trying to hold this against the people working in the Speedway. Like, even if they actually wanted to serve, you know, we're not planning on denying service to these assholes. I mean, just look at that scene there. It would just be a reasonable decision in terms of avoiding damage to the shop not to let anybody in. I mean, like, it would just be wild if they decided... I mean, I could see, you know, these fucking corporate HQs condemning that. But if anything were to possibly result in a Speedway boycott, I feel like that might be it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's it.
That Hampton Inn learned their lesson. So just kind of loose.
Also, you see the sign getting pulled down?
Yeah, literally. Wow. Yeah, literally. Like, it was the changing of the guard. It was like when the British left Hong Kong, and it was really dramatic.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, that's such a great example there. It's, see, taking down a sign demanding that ICE get the fuck out of town is totally the same thing as decolonizing Hong Kong.
This is the left. They don't want Bovino to get his hands on some, like, any Zin, because, you know, like, he would lock in, be like 20 million deported by, like, probably the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, but I mean, of course, that's the thing. This is a big part of why these pricks do so badly when Trump is running the thing, is everybody gets advanced warning, and they get to see exactly what this immigration enforcement looks like, and they don't want it.
Just immediately get Chads out.
Yeah, literally. So, like, the left, this is a very tactical play. I would say this is probably their most genius play yet, is preventing Bovino from getting his paws in, like, a white monster.
I mean, he is a white monster, you could say.
He'd be so over for every illegal. Like, they'd be
That's
gone.
right. That's the Gen Z perspective on why they stopped him.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. That's the game. I know Oron's going to be like...
Who is this, like, Zach from Saved by the Bell who you ordered from Wish?
Oh, like, the South in 1860... That's not what's going on. We know what's going on. That's absolutely...
Yeah, let's hear what's going on there.
Really what it is. They're trying to get his mitts off the secret sauce. The
You know what it
Patriots.
was? It's because you ever get those tornadoes at Speedway?
Wait, I mean, okay, let me get this straight. So, they're trying to talk about calls for a boycott and trying to hype that, and here they are, like, talking about their favorite Speedway snacks? Yeah, you're right. They're really terrible at boycotts. This is like me going... Okay, let me just be clear. I've never eaten at fucking Chick-fil-A. I don't really have any intention to. But if I were to do a segment and go, yeah, fuck Chick-fil-A, don't shop there, and then start talking about, like, I don't know, what's supposed to be good there. There's, I guess, some kind of sauce, probably. Whatever the fuck their sauce is. I heard somebody, like, actually doxed the secret recipe there. Evil leprechaun.
Yeah, and they got the spicy cheese one.
Oh god.
They knew that once he took one bite, it was going to be the John Hand meme where he's just
literally.
like, "Turn the lights on," where that song is. And they can't
It'd be
have
like
him.
in Space Jam, he bites into that roller dog, and then
Like, are they getting paid by Speedway now to produce this content? Like, are they doing product placements?
when they get their the Michael's secret sauce and they just like load up. That's what would happen in Border Patrol.
I gotta imagine Michael.
At the moment, it seems like he's glazing Speedway snacks, actually, strangely. They were, like, trying to glaze Bovino, but then they got into talking about how good their, like, whatever the fuck people eat at Speedway is. And now that that's all they're talking about. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, half of their chat, I mean, runs off to Speedway in the middle of the stream just to go get some of these snacks they keep talking about. At the same time as they're trying to hype this one Twitter user saying that there should be a boycott.
The bathroom.
I mean, we got Wawa in Florida now, so we don't have to live like that anymore. You
You
know?
know, what kind of fucking name for a shop is that? I refuse to call it that.
Like we got all the best.
We should be aristocratic. There's been some talks on the right, maybe more like aristocratic taste. Maybe we should go for like 7-Eleven.
Yeah,
Should we
Wawa
boycott Speedway?
Yeah.
Wawa nationalism.
Should we boycott Wawa? Dude, Wawa's so good.
I go to Wawa all the time anyway, so.
These motherfuckers, I mean, it is so random. What they will end up talking about. It is, like, they have no object permanence when it comes to the subject at hand. They will start at one thing, like 2 minutes in, they're already, like, comparing, gas station snacks.
It's absurdly good for being gas station food.
Yeah, right? Should we boycott Speedway?
Why not?
So what was Speedway's...
Why not? Wow. Oh, that's... Yeah, I mean, yeah. They're really good at this.
Got something.
What was Speedway's recourse here? Were they, like, abetting this? Or was this just people showed up at a Speedway and stopped them? I mean,
No,
Speedway doesn't have, like, agents.
apparently the Speedway said you guys have to leave,
Okay.
and then...
Well,
yeah.
that's the case. Yeah, I mean, it's
I
easy.
mean, look at... Yeah, I mean, they just showed the video. I mean, here's the thing. I hope that the people in that Speedway were refusing them service. And I hope that people who work at, filling stations are turning off pumps that ice rolls up to. So they can just, get starved for fuel and end up having to just walk around. But even if they were not, I mean, you would probably, if you're at an understaffed little fucking convenience store and there's a mob scene outside of it, all around a handful of assholes who probably want to arrest your employees. Now, and you're going to have to clean up whatever the hell gets thrown around the place. What are you going to do? Are you going to let these assholes in which case everybody else comes in to continue telling them their opinions? Or are you going to say, actually, I think we're closed. Why don't you go someplace else? It's because we don't want to fucking deal with us.
Don't go there anyway. So I've been boycotting for years. I knew this would happen.
I can't afford a
car. I'm Gen Z.
Yeah, literally.
Hyperstition. I was already boycotting. I didn't.
I just sense it.
I've been doing this for years.
It's called killer
I
instinct.
knew they weren't patriots. I could feel it.
Yeah, I could just sense it. It's like I have like a patriot detection. I could just smell it when I passed a Speedway. I was like, I knew it.
Yeah, walked in one time. There were no white monsters in the case. I knew.
Well, I mean, they locked one out.
Yes, sir. We only have 3 milligram. Scumbags, you're boycotted.
I'm looking up who owns Speedway. I want to see whose stock's taking a hit
Patel,
right now.
Probably this one.
Owned by 7-Eleven.
Let me get... Really?
Well, are they going to boycott 7-Eleven now?
What?
Wait a
Oh,
minute.
the Japanese.
I mean, are they going to just give us a good time and say that now you will never be able to run into a chud at 7-Eleven?
They want to go again? They want to go again? Well, we got a few more nukes sitting around.
A few more. That's an understatement.
Yeah, it was acquired in 21 for $21 billion by 7-Eleven.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. River Rude says, IMO, right-wingers are more likely to go out of their way to proudly financially support something that people to the left of them are boycotting instead of organizing boycotts themselves. Yeah, that sounds about right. And I mean, you look at the grifts that Daily Wire guy, Jeffrey Boring, that's his name, he put out, where the whole thing is that they're going to have, like, far-right subscription-based chocolate bullshit and, white nationalist shaving razors and stuff. And the idea is that you should spend all this money on these overpriced, subscription-based, cheap-ass chocolates and razors in order to piss off the libs. I mean, God, the whole thing is just so just... Every single bit of it is designed to perfectly jigsaw into a grift.
$21 billion.
It's like 3 tanks of gas in California.
And the Japanese bought out 7-Eleven a while ago.
Yeah.
All of them.
Japanese 7-Elevens are something to behold, and they make a...
Okay, I will say, I mean, weird digression, but okay. Yes, true, Japanese convenience stores in general are next level. Like, I mean, Japanese junk food is also very much next level. I highly recommend it.
American 7-Elevens look like outhouses.
That's like.
I mean, a lot of them, I will say a lot of 7-Elevens I've been to in the U.S. do look like outhouses, just without any comparison needed, except to an outhouse.
radicalized me was going to like a 7-Eleven in Japan and seeing.
What? Okay, let me take that back, because that may have been the most buck wild shit I've heard all day.
Houses.
That's like really radicalized me. It was going to like a 7-Eleven in Japan.
He was radicalized by going to a 7-Eleven in Japan
And seeing like, oh, this is what like society is supposed to look like.
Yeah, like someone's floating.
This is what a Japanese 7-Eleven is what society is supposed to look like. So just like snacks and so what the like your ideal society is a Japanese 7-Eleven? I'm not even sure how what that is supposed to look like, because 7-Elevens, even Japanese ones, are kind of missing a number of things that we would generally consider to be an important part of functioning society, like, I don't know, a place to live.
And like they're immortal.
They're
There's
all bound you and like
they have
like
replicators. You can just
Does
be
this mean
like,
we need to
tea,
like
Earl Grey, hot, and
Does this mean we have to like tariff Japan until they bring us their 7-Eleven?
That's not how tariffs work. Like, if you're going to impose tariffs on Japan, that is going to make them less likely to bring their shit over here, because nobody's going to be able to afford to buy it.
Staff, like, sorry, you have to turn it all
No,
over.
culture matters.
I mean-
we will never have Japanese 7-Elevens in
Yeah.
America.
the thing about Japan is that it's a
There's going to be a good take on incoming. When you hear right-wingers talk about the thing about Japan that they like, yeah, that is just always just a sign that says good take incoming.
high trust society.
It's an ethno state.
I mean,
It's right.
yeah, see, this is what I'm saying.
But they started bringing in, Indians
Right.
and African migrants for some reason. Why did they do that?
People were looking for a place to live. I mean, a lot of people came as refugees, and also that's not the demographics of. I mean, yes, there are people from South Asia and Africa in Japan, but if we were going to talk about the major immigrant or like non-Japanese anyway communities in Japan, it's Chinese, Brazilian, and Korean.
No.
Brazilian because there's a huge Nikkei community in Brazil, and a lot of Nikkei Brazilians go back over.
Because they're not having babies.
Right.
Yeah. 7-Eleven is owned by 7 and I Holdings. It is a Japanese company.
It's Japanese,
First
yeah.
I heard that.
They
Do
got
you
bought
know
out.
how mad I was when I got to Tokyo and I saw like Indian people?
Oh wow! Yeah, they're just telling us everything. This is what I was saying. I mean, when guys like this start talking about the things they like in Japan, it is always a mask-off moment. He's pissed off because he went to Japan and saw people from India, and it's like, motherfucker, you're a white dude in Japan. Are they supposed to also get pissed off about your presence there?
I was like, no, it's not like the cartoons.
It's like,
That was the part about the cartoons that he liked about Japan.
when you show up to Paris now and it's all just, in Arabic or
I was like,
Farsi or something.
No, it isn't. I've been to Paris. Virtually everything is in French, actually. And if there's one language that has massively just invaded the French language in its colloquial use, and Adria, I think you can back me up on this, c'est l'anglais. C'est l'anglais, putain. It's the fucking English. That's the language that you see in all over French-speaking places. Less so in Quebec. I mean, because they have made a deliberate choice not to use certain metropolitan French words that are borrowed from English. Like in France, a car park is le parking, and in Quebec, it's le stationnement, and shit like that. But, I mean, if there's any language that has really sort of taken up a lot of space in France, it is English loanwords. It is English. That is the language. Like, I was, I mean, I will say I haven't been all over Paris. I haven't, and I've not been to like the banlieue or anything like that. And I imagine there is a fair bit of variation in there. But I will say, I mean, I was all over Montmartre. Basically, I had a weekend, so that was basically all I really got to see. And yeah, I mean, Farsi and Arabic, not languages I saw a lot of there.
My immersion. No, you're not
I
supposed
think
to be here.
the funniest thing about Japan when I got there was that they don't have like Brad Pitt, like Robert Downey Jr. They have Goku and Lupin the Third and like Naruto.
I mean, wait, so what he's surprised by is that Japan has its own film stars and movie and television characters?
And like...
I mean, the thing is, you do see Brad Pitt. I mean, I don't know specifically about Brad Pitt, but actually big name, like Hollywood actors do show up a fair bit on Japanese TV. And what they do is like the most random fucking adverts. They will be on there to talk about, you'll have like Kevin Bacon talking about carpet cleaner or something. Like somebody you would never actually see doing an ad like that in the US. They'll be doing an ad for it in Japan.
A big billboard cut out of Goku. He's like, at this point, a 40-year-old cartoon character. And I'm like, I guess it's kind of like Mickey Mouse. But you know what I respect about the Japanese people is that...
Oh, God. No, let's find out.
Cartoons we've propped up for generations are retarded. And
oh, wonderful. Yeah, okay. I mean, it wouldn't be a discussion like this without having at least one slur in there.
Cartoons they prop up are the most brutal. Like, they beat the shit out of each other and they're just fighting all the time.
Okay, so, like... The one guy, the one who looks like sort of a cheap-ass, like, Gen AI slop version of Zack from Saved by the Bell. I'm really dating myself with that reference. He was saying that what he was really liking about Japan in the cartoons was that it was, like, mono-ethnic. And Tim Pool is saying that what he wants in cartoons is ideally just lots of violence.
I like that.
They are obsessed with Snoopy. When I was over there,
what really?
They're like glazing him big time. I was like, okay,
glazing.
to be fair, he is a war hero. So there's something.
That's true.
Yeah, World War One.
We got onto this from a conversation about how Greg Bovino and his little goon squad got kicked out of a Speedway in Minneapolis, and people started fucking. One Twitter user called for a boycott. And now, somehow, then we were, like, just diagram this shit. They were talking about 7-Elevens, and then it was Japanese convenience stores, and then they were being really racist about Japan. They kind of still are. Briefly, we're kind of racist about France.
Well, that's right. Yeah, he fucked the Red Baron.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about fucking Snoopy.
Over,
This is the Tim Pool cast.
Oh, yeah, that goes to Kiev. Okay, yeah, how about Snoopy?
Yeah, exactly.
Snoopy? His KDR was crazy. He was like kill streaks, like UAV and that sort of thing.
I need Sam Hyde as Snoopy as World One flying ace.
Really go deep, yeah.
I guess like
what was the story again? Speedway.
No, the bigger picture here is that there are roving bands of leftists. Apparently, people were saying that
roving bands of leftists. I mean, the wild thing about this, and I hope Erica shows up, Mask of the Red Death, because she's in Minneapolis and can shed some light on some of this nonsense as well and back some of this up. But it's not like it's not like roving bands of members of like anti-capitalist groups. It's just members of the community. I mean, a lot of them are like libs who are being radicalized by this experience. Yeah, I mean, the idea that this is roving bands of left... I wish we could put together roving bands that could keep these assholes busy. I mean, that's like a fucking aspirational goal right there.
This mob was just following him around screaming for hours?
Well, yeah, because they're following people around trying to abduct them and shoot them for days. So, the idea is, Tim, that communities should be warned that these assholes are around.
Okay, so probably he went in there maybe even to get away from these people, and then people followed him in, and 7-Eleven was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's almost, wow. I mean, he's so great at deducing the most obvious thing about a situation.
Everybody out. Everybody out. Maybe that would happen. I don't know.
Well, still, kick out the agitators, not the victim.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, the agitators are the guys with the guns who go around, like, fucking terrorizing people. I agree, kick them out. Get rid of them.
Put the agitators in jail.
Yeah.
I mean, they did murder a woman there recently.
We don't want to take sides. And you're like, bro, you have a building in the United States. You've already taken a side.
I don't think that's actually how that works. Operation Catch of the Day? What is that? I haven't heard that name.
Like, defend the law.
It'd be funny, like, Japan is just like, we don't have anything to do with this. We're out. They sell the company.
Japan Pearl Harbors the Speedway.
I mean, I do appreciate that we occupied Japan for so long that they took on both our sports and, like, our...
Actually, Japan was already quite big on baseball before World War II happened. Like, they already had a very popular baseball league, to the extent that when, like, the fascist takeover happened there, one of the big differences is they changed the names, the terminology, because they used a lot of English terminology in the game. So, like, pitcher would be pitcha, and then they changed that to toshu, and things like that. Baseball was actually already a thing before, before Japan even got into a war with the U.S.
Our Western, like, it's Japan, like, they have people who are obsessed, like weebs in the United States, but with, like, American Western culture. Like,
no, they don't really, though.
Yeah. They have revolvers, and they put on, like, the shooting competitions.
You know, they have, I think it's like...
Actually, I mean, it's really hard to get guns in Japan.
Ketchup fried rice, what is it called? In Thailand?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever follow, like, Oda Nobunaga? The Japanese warlord?
Ketchup fried rice. Let me, real quick. So what happened was when the U.S. Troops were stationed there, I think it was World War II,
I mean, it would be after World War II, actually.
The troops were like, we want hot dogs, and they didn't have buns because they had no bread. So they made a bed of rice and put a hot dog on it and ketchup. And so that's how they would eat their hot dogs.
We honey boo-booed the system there. Yeah.
I mean, they already actually had a lot of this stuff before that, because, again, a lot of this actually dates back to the late 19th century. First Westerners, including people from the U.S., start, showing up in Japan after the opening of the country, and they start to create something called yoshoku, which is essentially their take on Western food. Oh, I didn't realize that they were in Maine. Oh, fucking hell.
And now, I went to Thailand, and they were like, you should try the ketchup fried rice. And they were like, it's rice, ketchup, hot dogs, and raisins. And I was like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard.
This is Tim Pool. Tim Pool is a guy who says the worst things people have ever heard. I don't think that this actually counts. I mean, I didn't know that I would have that.
Yeah,
I love it.
They had me until raisins.
That's struggle food.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently it's Japan.
I mean, raisins, that's the thing. That's his fucking breaking point. Raisins in rice. Like, that's a biryani, for fuck's sake. That's pilaf.
Similarly as well.
Well, that's like a lot of East Asia. They're like these weird holdovers from World War II, where the people are just like obsessed. Like they have the John Frum cult in like all these Pacific islands, where the GIs would drop like care packages to these random islands.
Oh yeah, the cargo cults.
Yeah, the cargo cults. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be so weird if there were people here who are obsessed with some kind of a World War II holdover. Like, what if, Tim, what if there were an entire audience, fairly well-off audience to cater to, who were like obsessed with emulating, I don't know, Germany in World War II? Wouldn't that be weird, Tim? That kind of World War II holdover?
Those are wild. They thought it was God. Like,
so they built plane effigies.
Yeah, to summon it again. Yeah.
I mean, how fun would that be to be in one of those?
Oh man, that's
to be in a burnt plane effigy? I mean, you're welcome to. I mean, stream it. We go. What? I don't know.
See a white guy just get hyped up.
When they're like saying this was a guy, I feel like he was bringing the cargo call.
He could just bring the most like random white dude.
This is them talking. This is them
just like
7 minutes. They're 8 minutes in now, and the original topic has just completely fucking disappeared.
King.
Now, what if I told you your cargo cult was the Constitution?
Oh snap!
Our cargo cult is Amazon. What?
That was the.
Oh well, that's definitely something to keep an eye on. I didn't realize that Maine had a Somali community. I mean, I don't really. The only thing I really know about Maine is that Stephen King writes about it a lot.
That was the bait and switch. That was the mod.
I mean, where it is too. It's.
Or that you can't. You're trying to go through the motions to summon again, but you don't know how it works.
I know, dude, it's so true. So we're going to digital age now. The internet obliterated liberalism basically with ideologies and then mass migrations with Facebook groups and all this crap. I don't know what the future government's going to look like. I don't.
This does not surprise me. I don't think he could accurately describe the present government.
Want totalitarian, communistic technocracy, which like World Economic Forum and China, where they.
Oh well, yeah, the World Economic Forum. I mean, those guys are so big into communism. I mean, if there's one thing that you hear at the World Economic Forum a lot, it's how they totally want to have communism.
Own the corporation, but I don't want corporatocracy where the corporations are making their own governments. What is your best idea of how?
Oh wow, okay, I did not. Okay, this will be good. So okay, corporatocracy, which is capitalism.
It could be better.
Well, you're getting what has been called the China convergence, because that's actually it turns out that corporate fascism is the only way to operate government at large scale. So all of your countries, no matter what they're going to call themselves, are basically slowly merging on this one institution, which is going to be corporate fascism. So
okay, and corporate fascism is. This seems like a result, yet another annoying result of one of the more annoying mistranslations in political theory, namely the mistranslation of the Italian word corporazione as corporation. Two very different things. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. You know, fun fact about Maine, that Maine has some really weird border crossings. There is a spot in Maine where the border actually goes halfway through a country club car park in a rustic county. If you look closely at a map of Maine, there's this long vertical north-south line. And somewhere along there, if you zoom in enough, there is a fucking country club where up until about a meter into the car park, you're still in the U.S., but if you go to the rest of it, you're in Canada. Yeah. I mean, and hopefully they get kicked out of speedways there. I'm here for people with Maine accents, to hear like chants, people telling them to fuck off with Maine accents.
I wrote a book on it, Total State, if anybody wants more.
Yeah. So the goal is to be in charge of one of these corporations, to be king.
Well, I mean, I would say that the goal would be to not have that system, but I mean, okay, you do you.
Well, I mean, when I say corporate fascism, I mean like the state operating. We're all moving to the China model. Like,
I mean, he's describing neoliberalism, basically.
Technically, they're communists, but in actuality, it's actually just fascism.
Right.
And that's
like, I mean, he says fascism, and he just means capitalism.
Way you can actually manage information, you can handle immigration at scale, you can still have a market economy, but continue to have control over information.
But you need to have elections so people think they have an option, and then they never win.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, but it was a vote, right?
Yeah, we have popular sovereignty as our legitimating thing, so we're going to go through the motions of that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's interesting to hear them admitting this.
But we're all moving towards that same government system because it's the only thing that works at scale. I don't like that. I wish we would scale down governments, but as long as we're moving towards larger scale governments, this is the only way we're going to go.
Wait, okay, he says he doesn't. Okay. I mean, if you don't like that, then maybe you should look into other ways of doing things. It seems like if you're saying this so glibly, maybe you're actually kind of okay with it.
Versus true about communism, it works beautifully among 10 people.
Right.
I did that pause for suspense as I often do.
Yeah,
10 people living on a farm, it's really easy to have a commune.
I would love to hear these guys get into defining communism. They could have Caleb Maupin on there, and then they'd have all sorts of people who don't know what it means.
The joke I always make is the one guy walks in and he goes, "Hey everybody, my watermelons are ready. I grew watermelons. You want to have some? Yeah, okay." And they share watermelon.
Yeah,
it's like, okay.
You're paying.
That's not so much a joke as just an anecdote, though. What's the punchline?
Payment is the vasopressin that you release when you help people.
Yes.
And those vasopressin, it's kind of like oxytocin. It's a bonding
I think the
hormone.
reality is when you grow watermelon in your backyard, you grow more than you need. So you go inside and say, "Hey, who wants to have some watermelon?" And then someone else is like, "It's messy in here. I'm going to clean up." It's real easy. Or the other argument is that a family is communist, right?
I mean, whose argument, though?
The dad's effectively the dictator, and
Okay, I thought you said, okay, not communist, but
no,
okay.
he provides and whatever, and everyone gets what they need, regardless of the chores. You might get an allowance.
I mean, it sounds a little bit more like the family is forming in accordance with the system around it.
Small-scale communism is fantastic. At large scale, it's psychotic.
So I agree. Corporate fascism seems like the model. The horrific. Would it be like all of our constitution is just out the window? Like no.
I mean, you seem to be okay with like the Constitution being out the window for the most part.
More free speech. If you say the words that our corporation doesn't like, you're banned forever. You can't have a bank account. We'll starve you out. Do you see that as part of this?
How is that not what you're under?
Yeah.
Well, no.
I mean, I was kind of going to say, although these guys don't. I mean, these guys complain so much about being censored. If TOS were actually enforced on the platforms they're present on, if TOS were enforced, like, in their case, there would be nothing left. But let me see. There was something else I wanted to check out here. Okay, this is... Hang on. I had put it onto the playlist and it is not showing up on the playlist, so this will take me a second. And... because apparently Anna Kasparian has apologized for something. I haven't found the original video of it, and chat, if any of you know where the actual video of it is, I would be very curious to see it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Let's see. Here we go.
By the way, guys,
maybe it'll actually give me the name of the video and then we can go directly to that. But this is the Vanguard looking at it. So I'll use that unless I can actually find the link to the actual original video, because I'd like to react to it without somebody else reacting to her.
I was so wrong.
Okay, I have not actually... I make a point of not watching certain things that I think I'm probably going to watch on stream, so I do not know what she's about to say she's wrong about. Like, what part is she going to admit to being wrong about?
I knew Trump was going to be bad. I didn't like... Just because, when I hear the word fascist, I think of... fascism is a specific ideology. So when Jake and I got into that debate about whether or not Trump is fascist leading up to the election,
and then you decided to, like, suck up to a bunch of far-right ghouls who still hated you afterwards.
there wasn't evidence to suggest that he has or believes in a fascist ideology.
Like, I don't give a shit what his beliefs are. The question is what he's going to do and who he surrounds himself with.
But what's being carried out right now on the streets of Minnesota, watching these videos of pregnant women, like there's a video, we're going to get to it later in the show today.
I wonder what would give her more, what would outrage her more. Seeing ICE drag off a pregnant woman, or hearing that pregnant woman refer to herself as a birthing person.
And the ICE agents walk up to them and literally knock them to the ground. American citizens.
Yeah, this is what ICE does. The difference between this and other times is that there are cameras there because they're doing it in broad daylight.
I'm sorry, I feel guilt every single day.
Good, you absolutely ought to.
Didn't see this coming. I'm such an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, I do think that, as Crystal and Kyle had pointed out when it comes to TYT from a while, they just made the wrong decision at the outset of Trump 2.0. I think TYT, Jink and Anna, they really did think, because they're two in their own heads as far as the business aspect and views.
Yeah, well, I mean, and also their funding sources.
Courting an audience, and they were tired of being in a little bit of a lull, you know, as far as their popularity was concerned, and they really did make it.
Well, I mean, they certainly managed to cause a significant change in terms of their popularity. I mean, it's had a pretty steep drop-off, because the thing is, much as is the case with the Democrats as a whole, with TYT as well, they found that if you are trying to suck up to fascists, you will both fail to win over fascists, and you will lose support from people who are actually stand to be harmed by fascists.
Calculation that, like, we have to cuddle up to MAGA, we have to pander to MAGA, because this is the way the winds are blowing, and this is
where their money's coming from.
Country now, and Trump has just got reelected, and we have no other choice but to build bridges with idiots like Glenn Beck and Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk.
And at one point, Jen actually recently was defending a Holocaust denier.
All the people that we reacted to and gave them so much fucking shit for fraternizing with and drinking a beer with and all that crap, right? They really did think that was what was necessary, apparently.
I mean, which, if that's true, then nobody should listen. That's already enough reason for nobody ever to listen to their analysis ever again. Because, yes, there was another fucking option. That just killed all their credibility. Like, whatever credibility and goodwill they had, they just made it clear it was all bullshit. I mean, and I wasn't impressed with them to begin with. I never really paid much attention. I mean, I do remember when I've been working on this video on, like, the death of Dick Cheney and the culture of impunity in this country, and that involved going back and finding footage related to all sorts of, like, George W. Bush era atrocities, and you actually see, like, original, like, the first year, a lot of what comes up on YouTube there is, like, commentary from the first years of TYT, actually, when they were, like, brand new, and Jughead hair.
Stupidly, but as Crystal and Kyle always pointed out, I think it was specifically Kyle that said it on our show, it's like TYT could have been the #1 show in the whole fucking world if they had taken the opposite approach, and instead of trying to pander to MAGA, instead of trying to cuddle up to right.
Yeah, I mean, and did she also drag her for buying that bullshit about Tren de Aragua taking over a block of flats that turned out to be put out by the landlord's PR firm?
Wing shows. This should have been the #1 anti-Trump show, calling them out viciously over and over again. Basically,
I mean, if they did that, and had not actually given an inch, if they had, yeah, I mean, they absolutely probably would be absolutely massively outperforming pretty much the entire liberal griftosphere, because they just have way more personality than them. But instead, they decided to take the same sort of approach, actually, the Dems have, and suck up to fascists.
The lane that other channels like Midas Touch ended up kind of being able to grab because TYT evacuated that lane.
Yeah, very true.
And Crystal and Kyle were 100% right about that. TYT could have grown so much over the last year if instead of doing that stupid bullshit, they had just been the #1 loudest, proudest anti-Trump show. But they didn't do that. I think they're now realizing that they should have.
I mean, I would think, if I were Jenk, the moment that after sucking up so hard to Charlie Kirk, that going on that fucking Piers Morgan free-for-all circle jerk, and immediately getting blamed for Charlie Kirk's death, despite being, despite glazing him like a fucking ham. I mean, that would be the moment where you'd say, wait a second, maybe I fucked up here.
I think they're now realizing that Kyle was right, that Crystal was right, and in addition to, the business side of things, I also genuinely think that both Jake and Anna have both been shocked and a little bit radicalized by just how fascist Trump is.
Yeah, I don't think they have been. I really don't think they have been, but I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of this alleged apology. I'm not really... Okay, can we skip these guys a little bit? Because I'm not really here for them. I'm here for Anna Prostrate. Because I want to know what Anna Transphobian apologizes for.
Honest. Ever specifically pleased about, I think it thoroughly vindicates all of our coverage. And I'm happy to hear Anna say this, so let's take a look.
Oh, here we go.
By the way, guys, I was so wrong. I knew Trump.
Okay, January 14th, 2026, on TYT.
Trump was going to be bad.
If anyone would mind terribly seeing if they can pull the actual direct link up to this and just dropping it in chat or the Discord, then we would just switch over to that.
I didn't like, just because, when I hear the word fascist, I think of, fascism is a specific ideology. So when Jake and I got into that debate about whether or not Trump is fascist leading up to the election, there wasn't evidence to suggest that he has, or on the streets, we're going to get to it later in the show today. Pregnant woman gets dragged out of her car. She wasn't even part of any of the anti-ICE demonstrations.
Like, what? It would have been okay if she was?
She was just trying to get by.
That's why no shit, that's why these demonstrations are happening. Because that's who ICE is targeting, just people who are trying to fucking get by. They're just targeting people who are just trying to fucking live their lives. That's why there are protests. That's why everybody's out there with fucking whistles and everything. Anna, welcome to this. I mean, this is one of the people whose, entire reason for making a whole bunch of money for being on the internet is that she's supposedly providing us with news and analysis, and she's acting like she just fucking got here.
Driving to an appointment or something.
Yeah.
Man, I wish somebody would have warned about that on the Young Turks like Francesca or Jordan Ewell or countless other people who you degraded and said they were crazy leftists who just wanted to have illegal immigration and...
let's be honest, I want none of it to be illegal. You could have zero undocumented immigrants in this country just by getting rid of these requirements, because they're bullshit, and they don't affect us. They don't affect anybody in any good way. There's nothing good that comes of them. Nobody should give a fuck about whether somebody who lives next door to them or, that they see on the bus or whatever has their papers in order. The only reason they should worry about that at all is because of the danger that person is in. And we should be talking about eliminating that danger by eliminating that bullshit.
Open borders and chaos in our streets, and that they wanted the Trende Aragua gang to take over apartments, and they were willing to justify crime because they were crazy. No, Anna, everyone warned you to your face explicitly that these things would happen. Isn't he's gonna cabinet in charge who they wear that, and you owe a lot of people apologies. I mean, I'm glad
that really worth it.
I wonder if she's gonna talk about like the war on trans people that she has been absolutely a part of.
Want to finish out this clip from Anna?
Oh yeah, 100%.
There's a video, we're going to get to it later in the show today. Pregnant woman gets dragged out of her car. She wasn't even part of any of the anti-ICE demonstrations. She was just trying to get by.
Again, who gives a shit?
To an appointment or something.
Would that have made it okay?
Now multiple videos of innocent people who are they're not obstructing, they're not getting involved, they're doing nothing other than standing kind of like away off.
I mean, the whole way she's saying that is suggesting that if they were getting involved, that would make it okay. When the whole reason they're getting involved is that ICE is just targeting fucking random people that are harming nobody.
And filming ICE as they're, raining terror on people. And the ICE agents walk up to them and literally knock them to the ground. American citizens. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't give a shit if I don't give a shit what their citizenship is. I mean, yes, that makes it especially illegal. But, like, they shouldn't be doing this to anyone. I don't give a shit what anyone's citizenship is, really.
Every single day that I didn't see this coming.
Good.
I'm such an idiot.
Good.
Anyway,
like, how the fuck did you not see this coming? Like, he literally said that he intended to do this.
Because that is nice to hear.
And it is just a natural escalation on what has come before the two previous administrations. Biden was an escalation on Trump's fucking mass deportation policy, and now Trump is an escalation on Biden's.
Sorry, I feel guilt every single day that I didn't see this coming. I'm such an idiot. Anyway, let's get back to the show.
So again, I do genuinely want to. I know, like, we've criticized Anna at length.
Okay, is that all she said? Like, because if that's all she said, that's really piss weak. You say Francesca had a proper go?
Opportunity to listen to your podcast.
What might have led to this?
Giving myself the opportunity to listen to your podcast to figure out who you really are, because of course I had very strong thoughts about who you are.
Really?
Yeah, but
okay, this is her sucking up to another neo-Nazi.
I realized that it was based on clips that I would watch of you that had gone viral, and they had gone viral because they were offensive, or you had said something that was
viral, like syphilis is viral.
Well, yes, that's a good description of Tucker Carlson. He's syphilis.
I mean, pretty much.
Although syphilis isn't a virus. Like, syphilis literally is not a virus. That's why penicillin works on it.
I mean, you should think of it that way, because it was mostly painting you in a very negative light.
Well, I mean, it's true. If you listen to Tucker Carlson for more than, 2 minutes, chances are he will have painted himself in a very negative light.
You've been talking about lately, hits at the heart of what I care most about.
Like what?
And that's the importance of this country representing the American people.
Like, what does that mean, though?
The importance of the United States being a sovereign country.
I mean, the situation the U.S. is in now is that it is basically kind of the only sovereign country. Everybody else's sovereignty is relative compared to that of the U.S. So, acting like the U.S.'s sovereignty is in question is a bit weird. The U.S. literally just invades the sovereignty of everybody else. Constantly. They brag about it. I mean, that is just one of the most ridiculous bits of fash bullshit. Yeah, she absolutely saw it coming. It was a fucking grift that she did.
That has politicians and a government that prioritizes the American people as opposed to a foreign government. And speaking out the way you've been speaking out about some of these issues takes a lot of courage because it goes against the grain and it goes against, I mean, decades of propaganda.
She's, sucking up to just a literal white nationalist here.
And conditioning in American media. For the first...
So in that clip, clearly talking about how much Tucker Carlson content she's consumed, and we played the clip the other day with Sam of Tucker Carlson applauding Donald Trump with a bunch of oil executives who were very pleased with him after he abducted Nicolas Maduro. So not exactly an authentic anti-war guy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he is utterly full of shit on so many different levels, and I actually hadn't seen that. Doesn't exactly shock me, because that's the thing. This is why, like, oh, thank you, Fran's video, we're gonna switch over. Because, I mean, no matter what we're talking about, like, whether they're talking about Palestine, whether it's anti-war, when you listen to, like, these reactionaries who will try to sort of worm their way into those movements and mainstream their shit in those movements, what you find, thank you again, River Rune, is that they are very selective because they have completely different priorities. Like, you listen to the far right talk about, like, Palestine for the most part, and it's all about how U.S. foreign policy is supposedly not representing U.S. interests. You know, it's doing imperialism badly. But, I mean, the thing is, that just means if they should ever come to the conclusion that U.S. interests do require, you know, genociding the Palestinians, that they will switch sides, because they were never really on side to begin with. And she's very red.
I was so wrong. I'm sorry. I feel guilt every single day that I didn't see this coming.
Political commentator Anna Kasparian of the progressive network The Young Turks, who famously a few years ago declared herself politically unaligned.
Yeah.
And spent the run-up to the 2024 election and most of 2025 gracing right-wing shows, not to challenge, but to find common ground with them.
Yes, and finding common ground on all of the worst shit, too. Either the worst shit or the most meaningless, the most completely just anodyne thing where they're both saying, oh, you know, what we really need is a government that represents the people. Well, what do you mean by that? Like, what people? What does represent mean? What do they do? What does this government do that represents the people, according to you? Like, there are all sorts of things when you, I mean, and this is a thing that people often are not careful enough about. Because, I mean, these politicians will do this all the time in general, is they will come up with something that sounds really good, that is actually quite vague, and it all depends on what their definition of various key terms are, and they don't say what their definition is, and the only way to really know is to actually go and do a little research project and find out what they've actually been doing in those regards. And a lot of people don't have the time, money, or energy, or inclination to do that, and so they just kind of believe it.
The ground right over the bodies of trans people.
Is it bad that I don't want to see a dick in the women's locker room?
Like, why are you looking at people's genitals in the locker room in the first place?
Is that bad?
No.
Anna is now having a bit of a come to Jesus moment and apologizing for not seeing all of the fascism coming.
I mean, yes, for not seeing.
And not rightfully calling Trump a fascist.
By the way, guys, I was so wrong. I knew Trump was going to be bad. I didn't like...
yeah, I'm okay. Even on the strength of that, why are you sucking up to all of his top propaganda people?
Just because, when I hear the word fascist, I think of... Fascism is a specific ideology. So when Jake and I got into that debate about whether or not Trump is fascist leading up to the election, notion of a fascist. Because look, if we're just going to...
I love that little sort of fairy twinkling music there.
Use fascist toward anyone we dislike, all right, then the word doesn't actually mean anything.
Okay, what do you want me to say, Anna? You want me to say wannabe dictator?
Sure, you can say wannabe dictator.
Oh, wait, okay, this is interesting. So, Jenk was inclined to say it, and she was pushing him away from saying it. Oh, I see. Like, Jenk is using what a mug of the type that I like to call a lip burner. Because it's a fucking metal coffee mug, and if you've ever drunk out of one, all it does is, like, just fucking brand the inside of your fucking lips. And I love that for him, and I hope it's very hot.
But I don't even think he wants to be a dictator.
Of course he does. That's what you do when you lose an election and you go, oh, I got fake electors, and I'd like to terminate the Constitution and bring out the tanks and use martial law.
Okay, it's very interesting here. So, it's interesting to look at this in light of what they were saying not too long after, where he was like, oh, you know, I'd love to have a beer with you, Charlie Kirk, so you can talk about more people who should be stoned to death according to Bible.
American citizens and shoot protesters. I mean, if that's not fascist, then I guess the word just shouldn't exist.
But was he able to do those things?
I mean, he didn't succeed. He also wasn't held accountable, but that's because nobody gets fucking held accountable in this country. The accountability is something that you can just buy your way out of. Accountability is like the free version of this society, and if you're paying for the premium plus version of this society, if you can afford that, then the accountability isn't a part of it. You can just, like, speed run your way through no matter what kind of fucking atrocity, and you'll get away with it because nobody on top wants to set the precedent for accountability on top, because then people would start expecting it and get pissed off when it doesn't happen. So it's easier to just have people take for granted that, yeah, no matter how bad this shit gets, no matter how absolutely unconscionable a thing is that some person in power does, they're just gonna retire and be a respected elder statesman, and there's no concept of disgrace.
There wasn't evidence to suggest that he has or believes in a fascist ideology.
I mean, it's a bit weird how many fascists were so keen on him. I mean, that's the sort of thing that should lead to suspicion. I mean, my view, like, basically, I mean, it really is kind of my current view as well, is that Trump fundamentally is opportunistic as hell, and what he only believes in is whatever will give him power and money and make his dick feel hard. But he's decided that the most effective way of doing that is to surround himself with fascist shitheads. So I don't really give a shit what's in his heart of hearts. I mean, I hope a clot. That's what I hope is in his heart of hearts, like lots of fucking clots. But, barring that, I don't give a shit, because it doesn't matter, because whatever the hell is in his heart of hearts, we can look at what he's doing with his ass of asses. And what he's doing with his ass of asses is a bunch of Nazi shit.
Now, multiple videos of innocent people who are they're not obstructing, they're not getting involved, they're doing nothing other than standing kind of like away off to the side and filming.
Like, this pisses me off. I've seen this 3 times now. And I suppose it is irrational on a certain level, because it isn't that she's said it 3 times, though it feels like that she said it 3 times to me. I mean, I have this happen as an editor, too. There will be some sort of repeated error, and I get more pissed off about that repeated error every single time, as if I had actually told the writer, stop doing this, and they kept doing it, when in fact I have not told them anything. I'm just marking up the document. I mean, it's the same sort of thing, but it's like, who gives a shit? They should be obstructing. That's a good thing. That the reason they're out there is precisely that these assholes are attacking just a bunch of random people. And we all knew that's what they were going to do, because that's their fucking job, actually. That's what ICE does. That's what the INS did back when the ICE was the INS. I mean, for her to, it's like, anyone, to me, your source of analysis, if you look to somebody for like commentary and analysis, and they're utterly surprised by something that other people saw coming, that suggests that maybe you've chosen a not very good source of analysis, because maybe the people to listen to are the ones who saw this coming because they potentially understood something that the person you're listening to didn't. Of course, sometimes people will be just predicting the same thing over and over and over again, and it's a broken clock situation. But that's why you just have to look into it. But if somebody holds themselves out as someone to give you like news and analysis, and they don't see something this obvious coming, then they're just disqualified.
ICE, as they're raining terror on people, and the ICE agents walk up to them and literally knock them to the ground. American citizens. I'm sorry. I feel guilt every single day that I didn't see this coming. I'm such an idiot.
Ergo, he is a fascist. Sorry, you forgot to finish your thought there, but otherwise, beautifully said. Especially
Yeah, that is a well spotted. She did not add a conclusion there. And I mean, this is also, if this is the entire apology, I got the idea that this was a long thing because the videos responding to it are also long. And it's apparently just like 2.5 minutes. And she doesn't really say much except, yeah, I guess I should have seen this coming. And it's horrible what ICE is doing. Well, what about all the other fucked up fast shit you've been doing? Like, because it isn't just failing to see this coming. She's been actively supporting it.
Actually, that last part.
I'm such an idiot.
Now, credit where credit is due. It takes guts to admit when you are wrong. But as someone who was booted from the TYT network for pointing out colorfully that coddling the right was no way to advance democracy or human rights, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm in front of vulnerable communities. I'm the most endangered, Frank.
He's the most endangered.
Tweeting at Elon Musk? Please, don't help me.
Oh god, yes, that's right. Remember the time that Jenk, fucking blushed 10 different colors because Elon Musk replied to one of his tweets.
I find myself a little peeved and quite unsatisfied, and at the risk of making this egomaniac retreat on her own words, she after all has been known to shape her beliefs based on what commentary is made about her, I do think it's important to ask, how did you not see this coming?
I mean, is it deliberate that she keeps on saying not see like that?
See, back in the heady days of 2024 and 2025, when TYT wasn't quite sure when the next Peter Thiel-funded Polymarket check was going to cash...
Live from the Polymarket Studios! What is this? Well, we got a new sponsor, Polymarket.
I mean, it doesn't seem to have covered much of the stuff she has to apologize for. I mean, because she also decided to become a Kyle Rittenhouse denialist and actually lie about the woman in Central Park who was torturing her dog and then tried to get a black bird watcher swatted, and she tried to say that actually the Fash were telling the truth about that even though it's on film.
Anna spent a lot of time soft-pedaling Trump, a fake populist who had already very much enjoyed 4 years in office, 2 impeachments, and 1 violent insurrection to overturn the 2020 election, to say nothing of Charlottesville, the Serengeti of white nationalists.
Oh, fun fact. Israel deported a Jewish activist recently from the U.S., and their rationale for deporting this Jewish activist was because in 2017 that activist had been defending Charlottesville against neo-Nazis. Just for anyone who is wondering how the Zionist-Nazi bargain is going on at the moment, you can get Jews could get deported from Israel for having stood up to Nazis. Just that's where we are. That's Israel.
Militias who killed Heather Heyer in cold blood. And also, never forget the defining feature of fascism.
Also, never forget that that there were medics on the scene who tried to save Heather Heyer's life, and the cops fired on them. That is not a new thing that ICE is doing. I mean, anyone who's been to protests that have been repressed by the police knows the cops target two groups of people. People doing the documenting and people who are street medics. Street medics get a lot of shit. They're heavily targeted because they don't want people to be providing first aid to protesters.
Is corporate power. And in Trump's first term, he gave the rich a massive tax break that added $1.9 trillion to our debt. But other than all of that, how would we know that Trump was going to be fascist in his second term? It's not like there was some playbook, you know?
Or like, say, a first term where he was already giving massive shout-outs to neo-Nazis.
Some ominous name like Project 2025.
Which, it's worth noting, one of the key features of it, which is an anti-LGBT censorship law called the so-called Kids Online Safety Act, is being sponsored by one Elizabeth Warren, who has previously, tried to appear to be a big supporter of the LGBT community, but since the LGBT community has been contacting her and saying, why the fuck are you signing on to this law, this fucking fascist hell law, she has totally ghosted the LGBT community. So, I mean, we have to keep in mind that when, Democrats say, say don't vote for them, vote for us because they're going to do Plan 2025, they have never actually committed to being against Plan 2025.
Written by a bunch of Trump and Vance besties that spelled it all out.
Trump has very aggressively disavowed Project 2025. There are portions of Project 2025.
Oh, well, yeah, but has credibly?
Namely on immigration policy that Trump does agree with and he campaigns heavily on, but associating...
Yeah, and those were bad, too.
...it with the Trump campaign because some former Trump administration officials are now part of the Heritage Foundation, I think is a little bit unfair. Well, there's a lot that he doesn't agree with that's in that document.
Like what? Name one thing.
And said that he won't actually pursue. And are we going to...
Which is that?
Pretend like Trump read a 900-page document?
I mean, admittedly, he probably didn't.
Yeah, that was a real excuse that Trump can't read. Well, guess what? Neither can the ICE Gestapo, but that's not stopping them from murdering people in the streets. The one time Anna chose to believe Trump, to hear what she wanted to hear, to soothe the mean comments online, she was deafeningly wrong.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, absolutely. And one thing that should be added is a lot of people have slept on the fact that large aspects of Plan 2025, as with Heritage Foundation proposals in general, are bipartisan. If we want to talk about Plan 2025, we should talk about opposing Plan 2025 wherever we find it. Even if we find it in people who are supposed to be progressive besties, like Elizabeth Warren.
2025 was the playbook. It did call for everything we're seeing right now. Massive expansion of ICE funding, mandatory detention of all immigrants.
Which, it's worth noting, the law that made that possible was bipartisan.
Massive buildup of 100,000 new beds to house those immigrants, and an elimination of programs.
God, Rick DeSantis is standing in a concentration camp. It's different when you know that the guy was a torturer in a concentration camp. And again, I just have to say, we have the theme of impunity, because if this was one of those countries that often gets smeared as a banana republic in the U.S., if this was like Argentina, if this was Chile, Rick DeSantis would be in jail right now, or at the very least, he would be hounded through the streets by just members of the public. Until he actually kind of begged to be prosecuted so that he could get some peace in jail. But because this is the U.S., the United States of impunity, he gets to just be a politician, just like Pete Buttigieg, who brags about how he was at Bagram concentration camp, in addition to working for a criminal-ass consultancy firm like fucking McKinsey. Two things that not only should be disqualifying, but should lead to, criminal investigation and prosecution. That he gets a fucking top job for it. Like, this is, like, there's no accountability. And the resistance to accountability, as an ideological concept, is really remarkable.
Like TPS and punishing any state that doesn't comply with the above. Check, 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 check. But was that okay with her so long as they were doing it to undocumented people?
And trans people, probably.
Did anyone else notice that part of the apology?
And the ICE agents walk up to them and literally knock them to the ground. American citizens. American citizens.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, I fucking noticed.
Project 2025 also spends a Kasparian amount of time on trans people, obsessed with there only being 2 genders. And yes, by executive order, there are now only 2 genders. And gender ideology, as it's called, is being criminalized. And oh cute, the feds are now investigating schools for possible trans athletes.
Yeah, I mean, and it was interesting that we haven't heard fucking, it's true, anti-transphobia didn't say shit about that as far as I can tell.
I digress. Trump 2.0 has also ingratiated himself with billionaires of every industry, let the richest man on earth hollow out the government.
The Arsenal of Freedom was the name of a Star Trek The Next Generation episode about a planet that had specialized in being like the solar system's arms merchant, and as a result of that, the weapons they sold ended up killing everyone on the planet. And that's the name that they picked for this fucking thing.
And then redirect funds to himself. And oh yeah, they passed the big fugly bill enshrining those 20 cuts permanently. Textbook fascism. This person has been doing the news for nearly 2 decades. They should have known better.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I don't think it's a matter of should have. I think it is a matter of did. I generally will assume that people are aware of things that they had a reasonable opportunity to be aware of, and that it would be weird for them not to be aware of given the work they're in. And so, I mean, anti-transphobia knew perfectly well what the fuck she was doing. Like, I mean, we can certainly assume her to know all the things that she said about all these far-right figures. I mean, she and Jenks said about all these far-right figures they've been glazing. So it's not, like, it isn't a matter of not knowing better, even though she should have. It's a matter of, I think she knew better. I think she absolutely knew better. And on that note, it is time to wrap up. Thank you to everyone who joined in. I hope you had a very enjoyable stream, and I will be back tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time for another edition of The Last JabroniCon. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you soon.